Okay, well, let's talk Giants. We did talk about Giants a little bit before when I was talking about my bachelor party trip to Tampa. I can't say enough positive things about Daniel Jones. When he got drafted, I was defeated to a certain extent. I felt that the Giants really just took this David Cutcliffe's word at his word, just trusted him kind of blindly and said, oh, here's the next Eli Manning. And it's just like, okay, he looks like Eli and he talks like Eli and blah, blah, blah. This kid is not Eli Manning. Wow. I mean, I know Eli, when he was younger, could move in the pocket a little bit and make some crazy throws. Not like this dude. Not with this kind of accuracy. I mean, it took, if you remember, Eli didn't put up like insane numbers. I mean, we're talking like Daniel Jones. I had him going like 25 of 35 for 298, 2 touchdowns and a pick. I thought that was kind of the line that we were looking at, because they're going to have to throw to win because their defense stinks, which the defense still stinks. But I thought that was the line that Daniel could put up just looking at his preseason alone. I didn't know he had that in him. I mean, he made some really special throws. I mean, moving in the pocket, taking hits. Yeah, he took some sacks that maybe he didn't need to, but making plays on 3rd and long. Oh, how I've missed that. It's like it brings a tear to my eye. The fact that he can make plays on 3rd and long and not check down to a 2-yard crossing pattern. It's just like, ooh, baby, makes me feel very good inside. So, and also like the touchdown to Shepard in that one corner when Shepard had 2 guys covering him, he puts in the perfect place there, finds Evan Ingram right at the right time so he can catch the ball and explode down the field. Put the ball right where you need to put it for Evan to continue running, outrun everyone, which is exactly what you need to do. Escaping the pocket, finding Saquon down the field, not throwing it out of bounds or throwing it short when there is a guy open down the field. His vision, his presence. I mean, this guy, I can't believe I haven't ordered his jersey yet. It's insane. And I know it's just one game. He showed a lot in that one game, dude. The Tampa Bay Bucs defense is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, I know Cam Newton's hurt, but they shut down Cam Newton. And, you know, they have some players on that defense. So, you know, I was not expecting a win. I thought that we would have kept it close. And that's been kind of my philosophy the first 3 weeks of the season, is like, if you had Daniel Jones in these games, I still didn't think he would be able to win them. I think he'd get you a little bit closer, but you're still losing because you still have that defense. Now I'm starting to rethink everything. I'm thinking, whoa, what if Daniel Jones was in on that 4th and whatever when Eli rolled out and just took a sack and fumbled? Daniel would have outrun Van Esch to the first down. All of a sudden, you know, he's rolling another rollout. Eli rolls out. He doesn't see Tomlinson crossing wide open tight end. He chucks it somewhere else. It's incomplete. Daniel Jones rolling out, sees Tomlinson, hits him. Little plays here and there are what Daniel can do because he's better on the run. He's got legs and he knows how to use them. Okay. Something like the first one of only 4 or 5 quarterbacks in NFL history to throw 2 touchdowns and run for 2 touchdowns and throw for 300 plus yards in a game. I mean, we're talking like Steve Young, Dante Culpepper, you know, some great all-time quarterbacks. And so to know that he's kind of pretty much at that level after one game, I'm not overstating this. I know you think I'm over-exaggerating. I'm not. This guy's the real deal. And you're going to see it against the Skins. Skins are like in kind of a state of turmoil. Jay Gruden is on the hot seat. You know, they're pushing him to start Dwayne Haskins. He's saying Dwayne Haskins is not ready. Case Keenum didn't look great against the Bears defense. Now, granted, the Bears defense is exponentially better than the Giants defense. So I fully expect Case Keenum to come out and throw for 300 plus yards and a few touches. But I still think Daniel is going to give him a better chance to win down the stretch. Now, that said, we don't have Saquon Barkley. And I almost bawled my goddamn eyeballs out when I saw him come up lame and then hobble to the locker room. I wanted to jump in the ocean and I wanted to walk into the ocean and never come back. It's only 2 times I've said that. Once was on a date with my wife. well, soon to be wife. And I was like, if we break up, I'm going to walk into the ocean and never come back. She was like, whoa, this is serious? Okay. And then this is the other time. I was like, if Saquon, if that's a career ender, adios muchachos. So they lose him for 4 to 6 weeks. He's not going to require surgery, high ankle sprain, which if you watch the play, you're like, really? I mean, you've seen Barkley's legs, right? They're tree trunks. Like, how did he get hurt on that play? But I guess he did. And better be safe than sorry. You don't want him hobbling around there and getting hurt again. And Wayne Gallman is a very suitable replacement. I'm not saying he's Saquon Barkley, dude. I'm just saying he has the capability to make some very nice runs because he's not Saquon's size. Doesn't have the same level of physical attributes, but the dude it runs very physical. I mean, this is a guy who will put his shoulder down and get the extra yard or two. So I'm confident that Wayne will have a decent game. I'm not predicting 100 yards rushing or anything like that, but if he can get a 70-ish to 80-ish, I'm cool with that. I mean, of course, Wayne's also an asset in the passing game, too. He can catch the ball and run there. It's just kind of a touch of the fumbleitis, which I don't like. But if he holds on the ball, I think he's going to be fine. I don't know how he is in the pass blocking game. I think he's okay. I don't know. I mean, he's good enough to get us the win last week. So, but the big weapon X that no one is talking about, that I want to talk about, Darius Slayton, my man. Oh, yeah. This kid from Auburn, wide receiver, ever heard? He's been out with a hamstring injury that's been nagging him forever. Dates back to training camp, maybe before that. We have not seen him at all on the field in preseason. He was out the first 2 weeks. He comes back, and of course he comes back when Eli's benched. It's this is Pat Shurmur all the way. 1,000% this is Pat Shurmur. I can guarantee you, Pat Shurmur is calling better plays with Daniel Jones. Of course, Daniel Jones might be executing the plays a little bit better, but I think Pat Shurmur was conspiring against Eli Manning because I think Gettleman and probably Mara was telling these guys, you have to start Eli. We cannot give up on Eli. And Shurmur's like, all right. And so he was not. You can tell his demeanor is completely different. He's so happy to have Daniel Jones as his quarterback. And so that's why he made the move. You're getting Sterling Shepard back. You're getting Darius Slayton back. I mean, 2 outstanding receivers. And you saw it in the game. I mean, Slayton has got speed on speed. I mean, he just missed on that deep bomb from Jones. Jones it wasn't him. That was Russell Shepard. Take it back. If it was Slayton, it would have been caught. I'll say that. He did hit on another play, another deep play. And that's where he's going to come in handy. Deep balls. Just unleash him down the field and throw it out there, and he'll go get it. So he looks good. Shep looked good. Evan Engram looked good. So the offense overall, even though there were 5 sacks and a whole bunch of hits and hurries and whatnot, this Daniel Jones kid, he can take a hit. He can stay in the pocket, take a hit. He'll make the throw and take the hit. I'm in love, dude. Head over heels. I tweeted about it. I was like, I'm headed over heels in love, and I don't care who knows it. And a lot of people said 5-11, 6-10. I can see him getting this to 8-8. I mean, I know we have a seriously hard stretch after the Skins. We're talking Vikings, Pats. I think we have maybe the Lions, Packers. I didn't know the Lions could take it to the Eagles like that. Who are the Lions? Are they good? NFC North as a whole is just good. And we have to play them all this year. Yikes. But Darius Slayton is going to be a problem for defenses. That is for sure. I'm so happy he's back. And if he can, is he going to, he's not Odell. Okay. We know that. But if he can be another Shepard, another Sterling, I like that. And then of course, after the Skins, we get Golden Tate back. Who knows how he plays? Who knows? They'll probably ease him back because I can't see him getting a ton of snaps his first week back. But if you got Sterling Shepard, Evan Engram, Golden Tate, Darius Slayton, 4 legitimate weapons that you have to cover and you have to account for. And we're back, baby. No more of this Benny Fowler, Cody Latimer shit. I mean, thanks for filling in. Next man up. I get it. Appreciate everything they've done, but they're not Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, and Golden Tate. It just sucks that Eli never got to play with Golden Tate, and I made this argument. He didn't let him play with a full arsenal. Daniel Jones gets to play with all the tools, all the power weapons. You didn't give Eli that shot, so of course he's going to look like not garbage, but he's not going to look great. Of course, there's another rookie who played well, other than Darius Slayton and Daniel Jones, which, we have all these media personalities now having trouble accepting the Danny Dimes nickname. Who are you, dude? What the hell is wrong with the Danny Dimes nickname? It's perfect. Why are we trying to change it? I've seen multiple beat reporters and Giants reporters and whatnot, media personalities saying, can we do better than the Danny Dimes nickname? No, we can't. That's his nickname. Deal with it. And then, of course, they always, I think it was Jordan Ranaan put up a poll being like, do you really like the Danny Dimes nickname? And it was 81%. Yeah, dude. Yes, we do like the Danny Dimes nickname. It is amazing. And then you have another guy who'd be like, oh, can we do better than Danny Dimes? Like, he's got legs. Let's call him Danny Wheels. No, that's a horrible nickname. Danny Wheels? No, it's the Danwagon, Danny Dimes, and for the R rating, motherfucker Jones. That's how you go in that order. But another rookie that stepped it up, Ryan Connelly, the middle linebacker from Wisconsin. Alec Ogletree. I mean, you want to talk about one play that pretty much sums up the Giants season so far. Had they lost that game, Alec Ogletree, who apparently got like a high grade from Pro Football Focus in this game. Okay, I need to review the tape, I guess. Recovers the fumble. I think this is in the first quarter, second quarter. Bucks were going in. They were in Giants territory, and he recovers the fumble, and he's gonna score. He's taking it to the house, and he's got an entourage. They're all gonna block for him. He's gonna score. Pulls his hamstring, falls down, and now he's out. I mean, tough look for Ogletree, because I don't know that there are long-term plans for him to stick around after the season. If you look at it, I mean, now with the emergence of Ryan Connelly, I know that they're kind of short. I mean, that's, they're short at inside linebacker. I guess Tay Davis is hurt, and now they just brought back Nate Stupar. But Ryan Connelly looks good, and if he can continue to perform, it's like, I don't know. Ogletree is a big contract. Might be trade bait. I'd have to say, like, Alec Ogletree and Janoris Jenkins are probably trade bait if the season goes really south. Try and get something for those guys and then continue to play. But your young guys, and this is kind of like what I wanted to bring up and how I wanted to end the Giants section. Look at what Gallman has done. And I know at the first 2 weeks, it was kind of like, meh. But the week 3 kind of showed what's going on. And I think someone even made the comparison. I'll get to it in a second, but we have 0 players from the 2015 NFL draft on the team. Flowers departed last year. Collins gone before this year. That's crazy. 0 players from the 15 draft. We have 0 players from drafts before that, minus 2007 Zach Diassi. Shout out Zach. That's kind of nuts. And I know the average NFL career is around 3.3 years, so it kind of makes sense that most of your average players would be gone. But the fact that you have 0 players, not one, is insane. But that's Gettleman saying to Jerry Reese, hey, right there, buddy. Take it, sit on it, and swivel. And you can see it, like 1 of 6 players from the 2016 draft. Sterling Shepard, that's it. And that's because Shep has put up some amazing numbers in OBJ's absence and should put up some decent numbers this year. I mean, he's a solid number 2. I don't think he can be the number 1, but he's solid number 2. The other players in that draft, Jarrell Adams is with the Texans. Paul Perkins got picked up by the Lions. Eli Apple got traded, which I guess the jury's still out on that trade. I still don't like Eli Apple. I think he's kind of the worst, but I guess he's still playing well for the Saints, I guess. BJ Goodson traded the Packers. So they have 1 of 6 from the 16 draft, and they have 3 of 6 from Reese's last draft in 17. Evan Engram, who, I mean, you know, yeah, he's going to stay on the team. Dalvin Tomlinson, who's looked okay. I think he's an okay, like, for depth on the defensive line. And then Wayne Gallman. And everyone else, adios. And we have 4 of 6 players from the 2018 draft. So we have Saquon, lifetime Giant. Will Hernandez should be a lifetime Giant. BJ Hill, I mean, he had 5.5 sacks last year, something like that. And then Lorenzo Carter, who is a starter, and we're kind of waiting for him to blossom or blow up, because everyone seems to think that he's got that potential. So we'll see. The jury's kind of still out on him, but that's 4 of 6 guys that landed in 18, of course. Laletta was one of the other ones, and then I forget who the other player was. Damn. Sucks. Here's the big stat. 8 of 10 players from the 2019 draft are starters or play a lot of snaps, are active, I should say. 6 of those 8 are starters or play a lot of snaps. So you got Daniel Jones. You got Ryan Connelly, Dexter Lawrence, O'Shane Zimenez, who that's the real play. I mean, you know, Julian Love and Corey Ballentine are the 2 who should be getting more snaps at this point. I don't know what the hell's going on there. I mean, who are you protecting them from? Just throw them out there, see what you got. But O'Shane Zimenez, so he's the one that everyone's going to keep looking at, along with Dexter Lawrence and DeAndre Baker. Excuse me, forgot DeAndre, and for good reason. Although he was getting somewhat torched, I guess, in the first half, maybe. And then he had Godwin on lockdown again in week 3. So maybe DeAndre Baker, they've figured out how to use him, and he's starting to play up to his potential. Hopefully, if he does, we're in a good spot. But O'Shane Zimenez, there's a stat. Someone on Twitter compared him with Josh Allen, the defensive end who got drafted by the Jags, I think, maybe. So Josh Allen was the number 7 pick. He was the guy that a lot of people thought the Giants should have gone with at the 6, and said they went with Daniel Jones. And now it's looking like, yeah. Turns out the Giants, after they selected Jones at 6, were looking to trade back up to the 7 to get Josh Allen. So they weren't like passing on Josh Allen. They were doing everything in the world. And, you know, if they got Josh Allen and Daniel Jones, wow, right? Well, it turns out Josh Allen has pretty much the same stats as O'Shane Zimenez, who we got in the 3rd round, 2nd round, 4th round, later round. And people are going to keep eyes on Dexter Lawrence and O'Shane Zimenez, because those are the picks we got from the Cleveland Browns for OBJ. Now, riddle me this. If O'Shane Zimenez turns out to be a Josh Allen type player in the NFL, and Dexter Lawrence if those 2 become Pro Bowlers, and you got Zeitler and Jabril Peppers gives you something, as you know, because right now he's not giving you a whole lot. We win the OBJ trade. And multiple people have said that Dave Gettleman got fleeced. Well, guess what? Browns have scored 13 points twice in the first 3 weeks with OBJ. Now you're going to blame the play calling? Sure. I watched the Sunday night game. Freddie Kitchens stinks. And I get that. But at the same time, Giants are looking pretty good with the guys that they got. So if you've already made your decision on that trade, might want to rethink it. Yeah, so that's the Giants. I think that we are able to pull one out against the Skins. It's going to be another tight one. It's going to be close. We'll probably get down, and then Daniel will lead him back yet again. But I have a really good feeling about this week, and I have an amazing feeling about Daniel Jones. And I think that Gettleman's looking good at this point. And I think Shermer's got his guy, and he's going to be on a whole nother level. And it seems a lot of people are vindicated within the Giants organization. I mean, this guy is putting up the numbers he put up, and I understand it's one game, it's against the Bucs, blah, 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 blah. But to do it without Saquon, to lead them back, to make big time throws, 4th down, make a big time run, just everything he's doing is coming up roses and rainbows, and I'm all in for it. I got to order that jersey like yesterday. So let's go, Big Blue. All right, so that's Giants talk. Kept it fairly short, I guess. Although I should say this, I'll mention this real quick. Tiki Barber went on the Surf and Turf podcast, which is part of the Barstool Sports. It's hosted by Stephen Che, who is an AdOps guy, but he also produces the Yak with Dan Katz. He hosts the podcast with Willie Colon, who's a former lineman, played for the Steelers and Jets, who I'm not a big fan, but he'll eat me alive. So, don't. So they have a Surf and Turf podcast. They had Tiki Barber on. Now I'm starting to, I don't know. Part of me wants to rethink how Giants fans feel about Tiki Barber, because ever since he made the comments, ever since he retired in 2007 and we went to win the Super Bowl without him, and he made the comments that Eli will never be a winner, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Listening to him, watching him, this interview on the Surf and Turf podcast on Barstool Sports, I was starting to turn. I was like, you know what? Maybe he is misunderstood. Maybe he is the Terrell Owens of the Giants franchise. Maybe he is, his comments get twisted and his quotes get misquoted. And maybe he is that guy that's just like his words are getting used against him because he's willing to be real and honest and upfront and frank and direct. And I appreciate that. So why don't I appreciate Tiki more, especially after everything he gave us? And I'm so close to being back in on him. And it's been so long. It's been 10 years since 12 years since he retired. Like, when do we start to come back on the Tiki train and not boo him when we see his face on the Jumbotron or hear his name get mentioned? When is that? And has he apologized? Has there been an apology? Probably. And we just never accepted it. What is it, though? Why can't we just give in? He's the all-time leading rusher in franchise history, but he still has that kind of smugness to him where it's just like, I just can't fully be on board with you. There's just something there that's just not willing to give in, which is nuts, because you have players like Shockey and Toomer who had big personalities and talk a big game. So why are we willing to be okay with Shockey and Toomer, but we're not okay to be okay with Barber? It's because he threw Eli under the bus. Newsflash, a lot of people have thrown Eli under the bus. And there are some people in the Giants organization who probably aren't 100% fully supportive of Eli. Although you wouldn't, I can't name one. So, but it was interesting to hear his take on his relationship with Tom Coughlin, how he had it out with Tom, and how and he has kind of a point. When Tiki retired, Tom became a different coach. It's just a fact. He had players calling him up, Tiki up, and saying like, wow, he's got this leadership group, and we're going bowling now. It seems like it's not as a harsh environment as it was when you were here. And you wonder, like, if Tiki did stick around and he got that Super Bowl ring in 2007 with Coughlin, is everything different? Is that really it? Is everything different? Do we forget all the other nonsense? I don't know. I'm not there yet, but the interview was good because and I know he's been very public and outspoken since he retired. He's got his own show that I just don't pay attention to. So maybe he's already addressed a lot of this stuff on there, but it was, nice to have this uncensored kind of stage for him to vent a little bit. And for him to say, like, he went over the 2005 Giants, how like that was the season that really was the most emotional for him because of Wellington Mara passing and Steve Tisch passing. So I think they both passed during that season, and both owners were like, this is the season team of record for them. I don't know what that means really, but it really stuck with Tiki. And so that was pretty emotional, and to see him get, a little choked up there was interesting. And he talked about, but the big one, and he talked about his retirement, about just like, his heart wasn't 100% there, and his body was not 100% there either. Even though he had a career year in 2005 and still had a very above average year in 2006, not being able to get out of bed on Mondays, stuff like that, where it's just like physically I'm putting and I think this might be why Giants fans are not completely in on Tiki Barber, is because he gave up on the team. You essentially could say that, because he said in the interview, his body was beaten up. He didn't see his body getting any better. He was on a downhill trajectory, and he didn't see the team going anywhere. So he's like, why am I putting my body through this when he doesn't see the team getting to that next level and winning the Super Bowl? And then they go and win the Super Bowl. I mean, it's just, you can't, it's a movie. It's like a movie. It's a horror movie for him, but it's like, the fact that they had their star running back be like, we're never going to win the Super Bowl. I retire. And then they win the Super Bowl. It's just like, and that's his legacy. Not that he's the all-time leader and franchise leader in several categories, rushing yards, whatever. It's that he gave up on the team. I mean, he kind of did. And I don't know the fans are ready to forgive him yet. So, okay. So the big story was, it's weird that I'm ending with this, with the Giants section of the show, but he talked about that 2002 team, which I thought was a huge missed opportunity for us, because I saw how powerful that Giants offense was in 2002 with Toomer, Barber, Shockey. I thought that was, Kerry Collins had the arm to go deep. You had the running game with Barber. You had Shockey making plays happen. I mean, it was just like we were putting up massive points against the Colts. And we put up like 40 plus against the Colts. It was like he said that we scored on every drive except one. And that one drive we didn't score, we took a knee. And he just felt they had so much momentum going in the playoffs. And I remember watching that friggin', I guess it's a wild card game. Yeah. January 2003 in San Francisco. Giants go up big and they end up blowing a 24-point lead. Just because they couldn't get it together. Shockey drops the touchdown pass that we thought, whatever, it's okay. It ends up coming back to bite him in the ass. Jeff Garcia goes off. Terrell Owens goes off. And all of a sudden, we've lost the humongous, seemingly insurmountable lead. But we have the chance to win. We're setting up for a field goal. Trey Junkins, the long snapper, we signed him the week of. Bad snap. The punter, Matt Allen. Matt Allen can't really field the ball, immediately pops up, has the ball up in his hand, and is screaming Oski or whatever they're screaming, so people know to go out into the pass patterns. Rich Soibert, who lined up as an eligible receiver and told the referees, hey, I'm eligible, check it out, bro. And the referees are like, gotcha. We'll never call you for a legal man downfield. Soibert runs down the field. Allen tries to hit him. Soibert gets pulled down by the jersey by a 49ers defender. The 49ers defender immediately knows he made a mistake because Rich Soibert is eligible. And the referees throw the flags and we're all like, oh, yes. Pass interference on the 49ers. We're going to set up for another field goal. We're going to kick it because it's a gimme. And we're going to go on to Tampa Bay. Didn't happen. They called ineligible receiver on Rich Soibert. Game over. And I remember I had just started grad school down at Johns Hopkins. It was the first weekend in January. I had gone out very hard the night before. And so I was in like my hangover clothes on the couch, watching in the stupor and being so excited and feeling so good when we got up by 24 points and then seeing it all crumble away. And then that last play and just screaming at the TV and staring at the TV. I think I stared at the TV all night. I didn't go to sleep because I was like, I don't understand the referees blow that. And then of course, like the day after, the week after, the referees are like, oh boy, wow, what a boner. My bad. And you're like, so do we replay the down? Is that how this works? We replay the end of the game, right? And we get to get the ball at this yard line, and we kick the field goal, and then we win, and then we get to go to Tampa Bay. Correct? Oh, no. You get an apology. We're sorry. And it's like, oh my God. So I bring this up. Now I give you the full story, even though you already knew the full story if you're a Giants fan. Because Tiki says okay, so the thing is, we should have got the penalty. We should have got another chance to field goal. We'd probably make the field goal. We go to Tampa Bay. Tiki says, the Giants, 2002 Giants, would have beat the Buccaneers in Tampa. Whoa. Because, not sure if you're a history buff, the Bucs won the Super Bowl that year over the Raiders by a very large margin. I want to say 51-3. Could be wrong. That's a bold statement. And I think the other two guys, Willie and Steve and Che, in the room were like, I don't know about that. Because the Bucs had a lights out defense. I mean, the defense carried them throughout the whole year. They had friggin' Brad Johnson as the quarterback and John Gruden calling plays. Spider 2, why banana? No, it's not a good impression. But the defense carried them. But Tiki was saying that the Giants had a very strong running game, and the Bucs couldn't defend the run, and so we would have run all over the Bucs and not passed, because if you pass, that's where you get in trouble with the Bucs. So they would have run, and they would have run, and they would have won. I mean, I'm trying to write a blog post about it right now, because it's like, what happens if they beat the Bucs? Do they go to the Super Bowl, and do they win? Not that far-fetched. I mean, of course, they have to go into Philly and beat Philly. And I don't know that they're going to do that, because they always have a problem with Philly. Whatever. But something to chew on. To think that if you're into the whole alternate universe theory, there's like on Earth 86 or whatever, Earth 2002, that other Earth, that other universe, that other timeline, the Giants get the penalty, they kick the field goal, they go to Tampa, they win, and maybe they go to the Super Bowl and win. I'd love to just, I wish there was like, you could pay like $20 to just see a time lapse of that happen. Just like a quick condensed, recap video that shows all that happening. And you're just like, oh, and then it shuts off and you're like, that's it. You can't see it again. I'd pay $20 for that. Fuck it. All right. So that's the Giants.